All right, hi squad. Redemptive Rebecca here again. Today we are talking about intuitive eating. So I really want to show you guys a full day of intuitive eating, but I thought it would be really important first to just really talk about what intuitive eating is. I'm going to go through the 10 principles of intuitive eating. If you are not familiar with the book Intuitive Eating, and you feel like you need some extra help with that, I practice it myself, but I highly, highly recommend the book. It's just called Intuitive Eating. I got the second edition, I believe. Going through the 10 principles of intuitive eating, the first one is to reject the diet mentality. So we see everywhere on Pinterest, on magazines, on just everywhere you go, you see maybe the 21-day fix or the 3-day military diet or the special K diet, where it's like just the constant dieting. A lot of people will go into those phases where they're constantly dieting, where they're moving up in weight and losing weight, and it's just not healthy. We need to talk about how to just eat normally and listen to our bodies and just eat in a healthy way. Constantly putting your body through that restriction, the restriction phase, and then going back to whatever you were doing before, it confuses your body. Forget about all of those diets that tell you that you can lose 10 pounds in a week, or that you can lose as much weight as possible in 3 days by eating a grapefruit for breakfast and then a piece of toast for lunch, because there is a healthy way to get to the weight that you're supposed to be at. Two is to honor your hunger. So I think this is pretty much the most important one. It's basically telling you to listen to your body. So when you're eating something, then to listen to your hunger cues. So it's easy for us to get wrapped up in maybe watching TV, being on our phone, and maybe eating too much and not realizing that. So honor your hunger is really focusing on your hunger cues and just taking it slow. I like to eat pretty slow and drink a lot of water with it, and then wait like 10 minutes, and if I'm still hungry I'll eat more, but usually after I wait, then I'm not hungry anymore because my mind, I guess, connected to my hunger cues. Number three is to challenge the food police. So this one probably comes up a lot, where you are about to eat something and there's like the food police in your mind saying you shouldn't be eating that, you shouldn't be eating that, no, you shouldn't be eating that, that has too many carbs, that has too much fat, you can't eat that, you're not allowed to eat this. You're thinking about all those rules that you were once told. Food police tries to just control what you eat into only certain things, and it's telling you to challenge that. You can eat whatever the hell you want. Challenge that. Tell the food police, no, I'm gonna eat that. Even if you just want to take a bite of it. I've noticed sometimes my cravings are satisfied by taking a bite of that, and I'm like, that was pretty good, but I don't want any more. Number four is to make peace with food. Stop feeling guilty about what you are eating, because there's no good and bad food. You will see that everywhere, is that there's a list of good things and there's a list of bad things. Forget that. Just forget that food is a bad thing. Stop feeling guilty over enjoying your night out with your friends, or staying in with your fiance and having some ice cream. Just don't feel guilty over what you eat. We're human, and make peace with food. It's okay to overeat sometimes, and it's okay to undereat sometimes. It's okay to eat certain foods that were once claimed bad before, but it's all about listening to your body. Number five is to respect your fullness. So this is basically, it's similar to honor your hunger. This is coming from a personal experience, but when I was overweight, then I thought eating was eating until you were super, super full and couldn't eat anymore. But that's not how it has to be. Eat until you are full and that you are satisfied. And that's number 6 actually. So those really connect. 5 and 6 really connect. So just this, and number 6 is discover the satisfaction factor. So when you're listening to your body and practicing intuitive eating, you're going to want to listen to those numbers instead, that maybe the calories or the carbs or the macros that you were once using. But listen to your fullness. That is your new tool, is you are using moderation and balance. You are still eating 80% healthy, and 20%, maybe unhealthy or just treats. Maybe some days you eat completely healthy and some days you eat 50% unhealthy, but that's life. It's easy coming from a diet to want to eat everything. So when I first started intuitively eating, I legitimately was like, wow, the world, all of this food, like I can eat anything I want. I don't have to restrict my numbers. I can literally eat whatever I want. But what I realized is when I ate half a pizza, then I felt so sick. I'm also lactose intolerant, so stupid. I just felt really, really shitty. And I realized that when I feel my best is when I use moderation and balance. Like some days you feel like just pigging out, but what I noticed, it doesn't take much to bring in that satisfaction factor. It really just takes maybe 1 or 2 bites, and then I give the rest to Steven, or I save it for another time. Number 7 is to honor your feelings without using food. So this is extremely common where when we are super stressed, super anxious, super angry, sad, we use food to cope with that instead of actually feeling our feelings. I'm not afraid to say that I have gone to therapy for several things, but when I started going for my eating disorder, I realized that I wasn't honoring my hunger or my satisfaction level or respecting my body. I was using, every time I was stressed and anxious, I would just eat and eat, and that's what relieved my stress. So I've found other ways to cope with that, such as exercise. Obviously, that's probably one of the best ones, but even just, hell, taking a nap, just, realizing when I am doing too much and laying off of some things. Don't be afraid to admit that you use food as a coping mechanism. So number 8 is to respect your body. So I really think I started already talking about this when I first started intuitive eating, and I literally ate everything, and I realized that eating that way wasn't respecting my body. Respecting your body is filling it with the nutrients that it needs, and then using moderation and balance and treating yourself when you feel like you need that treat, or even every day just having a little treat at the end, because your body needs proper fuel, and proper fuel includes your fruits and your vegetables, your whole grains. That's where really the 80-20 rule comes in, where you eat around 80% healthy and then treat yourself around 20%. I mean, it's really up to you how much you do it, as long as you use the proper moderation and balance, and that's different for everybody. Number 9 is called Exercise, Feel the Difference. I really like how this book flows, how the chapters kind of coincide with each other. They kind of, one after another, they start to connect. And this one started to connect with Respect Your Body, was Exercise and Feel the Difference. It really references eating disorders, just people that have experienced them, and people that have been super overweight that start intuitive eating, and they start losing weight because they're listening to their bodies and their hunger cues. And it's basically telling you that exercise doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be because you ate something that was bad. Feeling that exercise is healthy for your body and you should do exercise that you love and that makes you feel strong and healthy, and just maybe you have fun with it. Maybe you go to Zumba classes, maybe you ride your bike. I love lifting weights. Maybe you do powerlifting. Maybe you like to go swimming. Just any form of physical activity that you really like is exercise, and you're doing it because you love your body, not because you hate your body and that you ate too much and that you need to burn off the food that you thought didn't fit in your diet. And I really think that's important, is knowing that exercise isn't a punishment. It is rewarding your body, and it's a part of the day where you can relieve your stress. It's a part of the day where it's your time to focus on you. The very last principle is to honor your health. I think honor your health kind of ties into everything that we talked about today. Just honoring what your body feels. I know when a lot of people ask me about my transition from numbers to intuitive eating, and it was really hard at first. It took months, to be honest, from going to macros to going to intuitive eating. But when I was doing macros, I also thought I had to hit macros perfectly, absolutely perfectly, and I was restricting my macros way too much. And I just got overwhelmed with it. So I found out what my maintenance macros were. I realized they were quite a bit, actually. I wasn't eating enough, and I started just listening to my body. I started just like what I'm doing today. It was really difficult at first. I had to get used to it. I definitely overthought it. I was still tracking on MyFitnessPal, and then I ended up deleting the app and saying, screw numbers, screw the perfect body image, because mental health is more important to me right now, and I'm going to take a long break and focus on what I personally need to do for myself. So I took a long break from numbers, and it was the best decision I ever made. Learned moderation and balance, what proper portion sizes were. At first I was still measuring everything, like tablespoons of peanut butter and weighing all of the stuff I used to weigh. But then I just stopped, and I feel like I've become really educated on health. And since then, I've been really honoring my health. I've been exercising because I have fun with it, and because I'm a personal trainer who preaches fitness and exercise, and I love what I do. I love the person I've become. I love how mentally healthy I am, and I love how now if I want to look at numbers, it doesn't scare me anymore. I also think macros really helped me with this process, because I know what my maintenance numbers are. For example, I know I can eat up to 200 and something carbs, and I won't gain any weight. And if you're not into numbers, then practice just portion sizes and listening to your body and thinking about what is good for your body. That's what intuitive eating is all about, is moderation and balance. So I hope this helped you guys a lot. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to answer any other questions or make a new video talking even more about intuitive eating.